Good afternoon. Welcome to another video for Warren Michaels Digital Marketing Company. If you like the videos that I'm putting out and they're actually helping you in your search for a phenomenal SEO agency or company, please hit the subscribe button down below. Would really appreciate it. It helps me with my metrics on YouTube and obviously keeps me going and keep putting out these videos to help you guys out in the Lawyer Nation. I got a phone call yesterday and just getting over something here, so excuse me, but my voice is going in and out here. But man, I can't tell you. I probably take these phone calls at least once every other week, if not every week. But I was talking to somebody yesterday and they're like, "Hey, Mike, here's the deal. Here's what's going on." Guy jumped in bed with an SEO company. He's a brand new lawyer, and he's just looking for the cheap because just like any other business owner, it's hard to get going, right? So he decided to take the less expensive route, and the guy said, "Okay, I'll put you on a payment plan. I'll do the website, I'll do the SEO and everything," right? Well, he sure did, but what the attorney didn't do is read the contract. So what happened is about 8 months down the road, he realized, you know what, this isn't my guy. This is not the guy who's going to take me where I need to be. And he went ahead and canceled that. So that is the phone call I got. So when he went ahead and went to cancel the video, or not the video, that's me, that's what I'm doing. When he went to go ahead and cancel the contract, he found out he did not own the domain or the website. So all this money he had been paying for the last 8 months, gone. He tried to play a little hardball with the guy, obviously, and the guy wouldn't bend. So unfortunately, this is a learning lesson, I guess, for the attorney or the lawyer, right? But guys, I can't tell you how common that is in the SEO world and the web design and stuff like that. If the deal's too good to be true, just like my dad used to say, I'm sure your parents said the same dang thing, or you've got friends. If it's too good to be true, it is. If they hold you hostage, you need to do yourself a favor and look at the big picture, right? So, man, trust me, I get it. You need a low barrier to entry as far as the pricing goes and everything like that. But think a year from now, 2 years from now, especially if you're in PI and you get that first big settlement. Well, then all of a sudden you got some money to play with, right? Or any of the other myriad of areas of practice that lawyers and attorneys work on. And you need to ask yourself, okay, yeah, this is working for now, but what about 2 years from now? What about 5 years from now? Because that, unfortunately, made this guy start over. So after 8 months of SEO work, after 8 months of having a web design or a website, and even worse, after 8 months of having a domain, it's gone. So first and foremost, so that's, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was going to shoot a quick video last night, and I was like, no, I want you to just sit down, put your thoughts together, because this is becoming so common in the marketplace, unfortunately, along with a couple other things, which I'm about ready to go over with you. So today I want to talk about what is in an SEO contract, and if it's not in the SEO contract, what things should you be asking and what things should you be looking for to protect yourself and your future from an unscrupulous SEO guy, because as far as I'm concerned, that's just shitty business, right? Of course, phone doesn't ring all day, but it's ringing now. So, but yeah. So let me go ahead and get into this. Again, thank you for joining. But that was a phone call I took yesterday. And unfortunately, like I said, every week, if not every other week, I get that phone call asking, do they have any recourse? What can they do? Stuff like that. So I obviously refer them to an attorney. because I can't give them legal advice on that part of it. But yeah, so, all right, perfect. So let's get into what is in a lawyer SEO contract for 2022. Okay. Number one thing you should look for and ask about and look for it is the term. Is it a month-to-month? Is it a 6-month, 12-month, 2-year, 5-year, 10-year contract? Like, what are you signing, right? What is the term of this agreement? And honestly, can't believe I'm talking to the profession about this, but sometimes you guys can get so busy and so focused on just satisfying and clearing that problem off your to-do list that you don't ask these simple questions. So number one, the term. Always ask the term. Number two, what is the cancellation penalty or the exit strategy look like for you? So if you hire an SEO guy and 6 months, 8 months down the road, you don't like this guy, how do you get out? Is there a cost to that? What kind of notice do you have to give? Stuff like that, right? So with me, I only do a minimum of 6-month contracts. Most of them are 12, but I let you guys out after a 30-day notice. So if for some reason you just like, you know what, this isn't working anymore, just give me a 30-day notice so I can wrap everything up, get everything ready for you. And then, yeah, we're good. So, but that's not the case with most people. You have to buy out the contract. So, next, are there any buyouts or penalties? So we just kind of covered that. Do you own the site? Guys, there's some really, really, really big players out there that have you come to their, I guess their website and join their program for like $99 a month, a couple $100 a month, stuff like that. They own that website. They own the platform it was built on. If you don't own the domain, you can buy the domain through them, but you better make sure that it's your domain and not their domain. They own the content. They own the pictures. Okay, so I just covered several things right there. You need to make sure that you own all that information. Number two, can the website be exported to another hosting service? So again, 6-8 months from now, you decide you don't like the guy. Okay, so how do you take the site from point A to point B to the new guy, right? Like me, I only work with websites built in WordPress. If you call me and tell me, hey, Mike, I have a site in Wix, can't help you. I don't work with Wix. And it's just a personal preference. I think Wix is a scam. You're not going to get the site to rank. Of course, there's some outliers out there, right? Every industry has the outliers, the 2 or 3 guys that are ranking, but that's not the majority of them. So most websites are built in WordPress, and it's just preferred. That's the preferred platform I prefer to work on. So you can take a WordPress website from one hosting company to another with no issues, but that's not the case with a lot of these hosting providers and stuff like that. So number one, make sure you own the site. Do you own the domain? Do you have the legal rights to the pictures and the content, right? We just talked about that. Believe it or not, any picture that goes on the website, you have to have the commercial rights for that. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So, absolutely. Next, same with the content. So the SEO guy that wrote the content, there are a bunch of side deals in this business, by the way, that are pretty crazy. But some guys will hire content writers, backlinkers, stuff like that, all on 100% commission or rent their services. So in other words, whenever they get a brand new order, hey, I need this content written, they will send it to the writer. The writer will write it up, and then he pays them every single month, part of your fee, right? Well, what happens when he stops paying them? You now no longer have the legal rights to that content, right? Because the writer's like, that wasn't the deal. But a lot of SEO guys won't share that with you. So you can take the website, but now it has no content and it has no pictures on it. So again, you need to start over. which in some cases that might be okay. Like if they just sucked, you're going to want to redo the content and the pictures anyways and stuff like that. However, if you did not see that coming or you did not know that, that's a problem, right? Where will the site be hosted? Big deal. So your SEO guy is going to need access to the hosting, right? To the website to make sure, number one, that hosting is fast enough. So Google said multiple times that speed is relevant to and considered a ranking factor, right? So as of, I think, last month in December, they said, hey, we're going to hold off on the mobile first ranking algorithm, but they are still pushing site speed as a requirement. So let me ask you, do you know the difference between shared hosting, VPS, their own servers, stuff like that, right? So if your website is sitting on a shared hosting, so in other words, you have 600 other websites on there, how fast do you think your site's going to be, right? And most hacks happen because of one weak website on that shared hosting platform or weak usernames, passwords, stuff like that. But if you're on that shared hosting, which is not the place you want to be, by the way, if you can't tell by my conversation, you need to make sure you have access to the hosting and how much does it cost. So once you leave this guy or gal or company, how much are they going to charge you for the hosting? So did you get into a 12-month or 14-month contract? Mustache is itching the heck out of me here today, so excuse that. But you're going to have to ask about the hosting. So is it shared? Stuff like that. Let's see what's up next here. As you can see, I got my little list here with my little piece of paper that I just keep twisting here as I'm talking. But talked about the pictures. We talked about the hosting. Talk about when you leave, what happens to the hosting. Oh, this is a big one. And I've talked to more pissed off people on this one. What happens to the backlink? So part of the SEO process is backlinking, right? It's no secret. Everybody's going to talk about, oh, you need backlinks, you need backlinks, you need backlinks. Yes, but they need to be niche relevant, specific, and I'll do a whole nother video on that. But are they paying for the backlink? So it is against Google's terms and services to pay for backlinks, but guess what everybody does? They pay for backlinks, right? Because to get the good backlinks, they want money. So with that being said, I think the industry has really changed in the last 12 to 24 months because so many guys are sitting in mom and dad's basement trying to do this, right? Because of the pandemic. That some of them, the entrepreneurial guys, have decided to rent backlinks. So what do you think happens to that backlink? Again, much like the content and the pictures and stuff like that. Once you stop paying that SEO provider, do you think he's going to continue to pay for them backlinks? No. So, and since backlinks are a major ranking factor in your SEO, you have a couple different problems here. Number one, the backlink's going to go away. Once that goes away, what do you think is going to happen to your rankings? They're gone as well, right? So you need to ask, do you own the backlinks? Is this something that I can take with me, or is this something you're renting, paying for, whatever the case may be, right? These are all really good questions. Next, what happens to your citations? Another big SEO factor or ranking factor is your citations, so your directories, your listings, stuff like that. There are a couple of big companies out there that pretty much own that market, and that's the entire business model is they own it. So Yext is one of them, right? So you want to be listed in Yext, and they charge a monthly fee. So I pay a monthly fee to get all your citations listed in Yellow Pages and a bunch of other ones. So very, very important. So what do you think happens once you leave and them citations are no longer being paid for? Again, your rankings are going to start to drop because they're no longer being paid for, right? So another question asked. What additional fees are there? Okay. So if an SEO guy comes to you and says, okay, so here's our strategy, here's a plan, here's what we're going to do, and all of a sudden you want this changed, you want that changed, maybe you want a brand new, case just came up and you want to announce it to the world, put it on the website. Is all that included, or is that an additional fee up above and beyond, right? Because most likely when they quote you to that price, at least for me, I'm already calculating how many hours a month this is going to take me to complete for you, right? And that's how I'm billing, is on my hourly rate. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do for you, and boom, 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 boom. Well, now if you start adding in all sorts of different stuff, called scope creep, which from what I hear, you guys have it just as bad as us, right? People want to add things and change things and stuff like that after you've already ran that train down the tracks. So, with us, it's an hourly fee. So if there's something additional, but you need to know that up front, because there's nothing worse than getting into bed with somebody and then all of a sudden realizing that there's an additional fees and stuff like that, right? So at least ask. Make sure it's in the contract. The deliverables. All right, so this is a sore spot for me. Almost every single company out there, which is really unfortunate, at least if there's any bigger size to them, they come up with this fancy contract and it says, for an example, for $3,000 a month, you get 2 blogs, 2 backlinks, so many hours of work, 6 citations, whatever that number is, right? So they're just going to list out some things, okay? And they're going to tell you, okay, this is what we're going to do for the next 12 months. Them exact same things, month after month, for the next 12 months. And they're going to say, okay, this is going to get us ranking, right? How the hell do they know that? Right? They don't. Google is forever changing the goal line. Every single month, and if not every quarter. And I think my prediction for 2022 and 2023, you're going to see even more changes coming at a greater speed and more often. But what if Google changes the algorithm? So his or her or their entire SEO strategy for the next 12 months is built on today's data and today's information. Okay. What if 4 or 6 months from now, the algorithm totally changes, right? Like the big algorithm change in December of 2021 that they didn't announce. They just said, hey, we're done, is all about content, right? So at least a huge portion of it. It's a little bit more than that, but majority of it's all about the content and your structure of your site and stuff like that. But with that being said, a big algorithm change like that comes out. Well, now they have a contract with you. If they're only doing 2 blogs or 2 backlinks or whatever it is that they promised you in that deliverable, and they most all do it. All the big companies do it. It's so stupid. There's just no personalized approach to your SEO strategy. So now all of a sudden, 12 months later pass and they say, okay, well, looks like we did this. They delivered all the deliverables. They did every single thing they told you they were going to do. Question is, did it do anything for your rankings? You know, did you grow 50%? I got one client in 2021 from January of 2020, or January of 2021 to, we just did it this month, at the beginning of the month, about the 5th. He grew 750%, right? Year over year in actual traffic to the business. And that's because I don't personally do, okay, you're going to get 2 blogs, you're going to get 2 backlinks, stuff like that. It takes to sit and have that small hands-on approach to sit down and look at your SEO strategy and figure out, okay, where are we missing this month? Because next month, you have no clue what Google's going to change or do. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's basics or foundations and stuff like that, such as the blogging, the backlinks, the citations, content, all that, right? So some of that stuff never changes, but maybe 1 month you need more content because you're starting to drop rankings on a keyword, right? So you're going to add a bunch of blogs supporting that. Or maybe all you need is a couple backlinks. But if I'm stuck into this pigeonhole of 2 blogs, 2 backlinks, and 6 citations, whatever, Google Analytics, I'm going to hook you up to Google Data Studio, show you some pretty reports. Okay, sweet. But did it get me any business? Because at the end of the day, isn't that why you're paying for SEO? So I'm rambling on too much about that. But me personally, if I was in your shoes and an SEO guy presented a plan to me and it was the same damn thing every single month for like 12 months, that should be a red flag. Because unless you're looking at data on a monthly basis and truly looking, like, don't ever do SEO. I'm just telling you right now, it's something I haven't mentioned. Unless you have 6 to 12 months to commit to it, don't even do it. Okay. So, because all the data that needs to come back in isn't going to move fast enough for a really good SEO to determine all the factors and rankings and stuff like that, right? Like some guys are going to, in the legal industry, a lot of money being thrown at SEO, pay-per-click, ads, stuff like that. So you're going to find that you make ground here, and then all of a sudden somebody's on your heels and they're pushing. So now all of a sudden you're going to start to lose ground if you let them get ahead. So it's a constant fight, constant challenge every single month. And like I said, the goal line is constantly changing. So deliverables, if they're giving you a pre-canned list, 2 blogs, 2 backlinks, and it's just got this whole list of everything they're going to do for you, and it's the same crap every single month, red flag. So deliverables, right? All right, next is, and last, is again, just take your time. So the thing is, a lot of people will do a Zoom interview or a Zoom meeting. Hey, Mike, can you share with me your experience, stuff like that. And you just kind of hit it off and it's working and everything's going. 6 months, 8 months from now, that may not be the case, right? Something may happen in that person's life, or something may change in your life. Maybe you hit a lot of big settlements right off the bat, whatever the case may be. And you no longer need the smaller local SEO guy. You need the big national SEO guy because you're about ready to start ranking in multiple states. Don't get in bed without reading the contract and understanding what kind of things can affect you and your law firm and your future business. I get it. As a business owner, cheap at the beginning, so the less expensive is better, right? I mean, out of anybody's checkbook. But there's certain things that you just have to deal with and pay for the long run, for the future. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. So I think that was it. So we're going on 23 minutes here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. But thank you for watching. And again, if you found this helpful, please hit the subscribe button down below. And if there's any questions, or if I can ever do a free SEO audit for your lawyer SEO campaign or attorney marketing, please let me know. Feel free to call Warren Michaels, Digital Marketing Company in Houston, Texas. Thank you.